Hey people, this is Conrad Layn here. Welcome my YouTube neighbors. This is just my journey to Conrad Layn Turo IPO journey, where I'm gonna try to do my best to figure out the intrinsic value of what potentially Turo might be once goes through the initial public offering, which is IPO. I have strong conviction in this company as a Turo host. I'm not telling you to invest in Turo host, so don't try to litigate me or take me to court. I'm not telling you to purchase Turo stock when it becomes a stock. I'm just simply showing you my journey. Stay tuned. Watch the video, people. Hey people, this is Conrad Layn here, just totally hanging out, again some sun rays and just thinking about Turo. I love the company, love the culture, but just because I love a company and I'm emotionally vested, I need to also be logically invested as well. So I try to do as much due diligence and research to really gather and develop more strong conviction in the company. So when I invest in a company, I like to have what's called having diamond hands. Diamond hands and paper hands, for those that are used to investing, paper hands is when you invest in a company and as soon as it goes down or is a little bit volatile or it goes red or it loses profit, you want to sell immediately because you become scared. I try not to go through that emotional roller coaster. So what I try to do is, regardless if the stocks are stocks go up and down. It doesn't matter how conservative the stock is. So if I invest in a stock, I want to make sure I have strong conviction. So to have strong conviction, I must do as much research as possible. Again, I'm not giving you any financial advice. I'm not telling you to invest in Turo, invest in any company, or not to invest in any company. I'm not telling you to invest in Turo or not to invest in Turo. I'm not saying that. I'm just simply showing Conrad Layn's journey and what I'm doing, because this is my journey, because I believe that much in the company. I'm willing to do more research. I don't research any company unless I actually believe in the culture and believe in the company and the long-term residual effect that the company will have on the market. So it's a huge compliment to Turo that I'm even using my time, because I love the company. I think they have a great business model. I love the culture as a host. I love the culture as a guest, and I love what they're doing to even better the society and actually give back. They have a lot going on. They're ran by a great team. The CEO, Andre Haddad, he's been a true visionary. So I'm going to dive in and show you some of my research on how I develop my mental fortitude and mental strategy execution on how I invest in companies. So I'm going to share my screen with you. And I love this company. And again, this is not financial advice. I'm not telling you to invest in Turo. I'm not telling you not to invest in Turo. I'm not telling you to invest in anything. I'm simply showing you is what I do to actually develop and mature and develop more mental conviction in a company that I'm going to invest in. Follow me through. Hey people, thank you so much for following me through. Just welcome to my screen. This is my deep dive on my Turo IPO journey. I love the company, love the culture, love the team behind it, love the leadership of Andre Haddad and his fantastic team behind him. They're definitely visionaries, and I've been following them for over a year, and they blow my mind. These are some brilliant minds that I'm so excited. I'm stoked, and I'm just looking forward to what their plans in the future. But anyways, this video is not meant to give any type of financial advice. I'm not telling you to invest in Turo. I'm not telling you to not invest in Turo. I'm not telling you to invest in any company. I'm simply sharing my strategy implementation, just simply going into what I believe in the company and why I want to do it and my trajectory of thinking. That's about it. Just pretty much want to get deep into the financial side. So I typically go through the Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4s and just figure out my conviction mentally before I invest. So anyways, let me break it down. First and foremost, one of the key reasons why I believe in Turo is something called blue ocean strategy. I wish I could take credit for that strategy, but it's not my strategy, but it is part of my thinking. There's a great book on it called Blue Ocean Strategy. I'm gonna go into the page and I'm gonna read it to you. So Blue Ocean Strategy is a simultaneous pursuit of differentiation and low cost to open up a new market space and create new demand. Listen to that. Let that sink in. That's one of the key reasons, not the only, but one of the key reasons why I really love Turo. They are a blue ocean company at this time. Now, of course, as companies develop, you'll get competitors. It's just the nature of business, especially here in the US and in Canada and different parts of the world. It's just the nature of business typically. Typically, there's usually rules against monopolizing, and companies that monopolize usually get either like that they lose their license, or there's different penalties for being for monopolizing. So for the most part, the red ocean strategy is typically what most businesses are in. which is compete in existing market space, beat the competition, exploit existing demand, make the value cost trade-off, align the whole system of a firm's activities with its strategic choice of differentiation or low cost. Simply what that means is red ocean strategy. It just simply means that there's a lot of competition. So for example, you'll get insurance companies, fast food establishments. You'll have Coffee Bean and Starbucks, McDonald's and Burger King. They're competing with each other. They're in a red market. A blue market is this. Create uncontested market space, make the competition irrelevant, create and capture new demand, break the value cost trade-off, align the whole system of a firm's activities in pursuit of differentiation and low cost. That's blue market. That simply just means that a company that has created a new idea or a new ideology or new technologies or a new patent that no other company has. So they have blue ocean. They control the market. They made the market. That's what Turo is to me. And I do believe one day there will be competitors. Like a good amount of competitors. But at this point, they're one of the few that actually are the name. It's beautiful. And that's one of the reasons why I really have strong conviction in this company is the fact that I do believe they're a blue ocean strategy company. Absolutely phenomenal. One of the reasons. Let me break it down and show you a few more of my methods of thinking. Now, what I'd like to do next, I like to find any type of information. I've noticed I've met quite a bit of retail investors from all different levels, from sophisticated investors to people that are more novice or more beginners and people that are really sophisticated. I met people that work at hedge funds, etc. I like to share thoughts with them. They share thoughts with me. And there's different levels of thinking when it comes to investing. But what I've noticed from all different levels, a lot of people don't do as much research as I think they should. And that's just my opinion. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes all the time. But what I will say is that typically what I like to do is I like to scrutinize a company. So the way I scrutinize a company, that's my way of complimenting a company. I only use my time if I feel there's strong conviction in the company, meaning that I believe in the company. If I don't believe in the company, I don't waste my time. Why waste my time if I don't even believe in it? So it's a compliment when I believe in a company like Turo. I really do believe in them. I have strong conviction in them. I was really excited when I saw Andre Haddad actually he was interviewed by Yahoo Finance. It was phenomenal. He mentioned that they were thinking about the whole and considering the IPO option of initial public offering of becoming a public company. Really phenomenal. And I lost my mind. I was like, oh, please become IPO. But they're brilliant. They'll figure it out. But it could be today. It could be tomorrow. It could be 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years. All I want to do is I want to do my part to learn as much as I possibly can to develop more conviction in the company and more, because my conviction is what weathers the storm. What I mean by that is when I look at an investment or a stock, I'll look at it from a perspective that I'm okay if this goes up or down because I'm looking long term. There's a term called paper hands and diamond hands. I'm more what you consider a diamond hand player. And what that means is someone that has strong conviction. Doesn't matter if it goes down. Say I buy a stock at $5 and goes down to $1, or I buy it at $100 and goes down to $10. I'll still keep the stock. And even though I don't like that, maybe seeing that red, it going down and losing money in it, the stock's still losing value. A lot of people are selling, but I'll keep it though. Because my conviction, I believe in the company. I have to believe in the company to weather the storm. Because what I realized, a lot of people have paper hands, and I meet a lot of these people, and there's nothing wrong with it. It doesn't make me better, but I understand the mental psychology of it. Is that people get scared when they see their stock go down. Understandable. So they sell it, and then they lose, and they end up collecting. It ends up going later on, and you regret it. So what I do is I do a lot of research. So even if it goes down and it's terrible, I feel comfortable with it. And then I try to hedge against it, maybe into a more conservative stock. Like I might invest in, say, AT&T with stock tickers T or whatever, or Tesla. Other companies are maybe a little more conservative. But like I said, this is not financial advice. I'm just sharing what Conrad Layn does investment-wise. This is my journey. So what I like to do is I like to find as much information as possible because, unfortunately, when a company's private, which all public companies that trade on the New York Stock Exchange or NASDAQ were private at one time, all companies. So it's nothing different. Turo's just a private company at this time. You know what I mean? It's just how it is. They're a private company at this time. So that means what I have to do is I don't have the liberty like HireCar, for example. HireCar is a phenomenal company that I've invested in. But look at this, people. It's trading for $16.99. And all you guys can actually look at this information as well. So let me go here. See, hire car, $16.99, people. You see that? But look, if I go over here, let me show you something really cool. And all you guys to do this from home, Google, Bing, search engine, doesn't matter. It's trading at $16.99, but if I go over here, 5 years, see down there where it says 136? That's where it actually was at a time. Look at where it's at now, $16.99. Absolutely phenomenal. Look at this. See where I'm just trying to see where it's 170, November 30th, 2018, 170. That means this stock's $16.99 now, people. Look at it where it's $1.70. This is the power of investment. And again, I'm not telling you to invest or not invest in Turo. I'm not telling you to invest or not invest in Turo or any other company. I'm simply sharing my journey that I'm so impressed by this company. Look at it, $1.70, and it's at $16.99 now. Look at that. It's just beautiful, and then just skyrocketed. So that's why I like looking at companies like this. You can look at the overview, you can look at the financials over here, see the quarterly. And I usually like looking at the Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4s, and what that means is those are quarterlies. So I'll go through, take time to go through different plans that are being implemented by the company, how much debt they have, if they have any new team players, new CEOs, if someone stepped down, anything like that. I try to figure out, because the cool thing, when a stock becomes public, they actually are required to furnish public information so that people that are investors have the right to know the internal meetings, the minutes collected, the investments, if they own any real estate, if they own any property, if they owe debt, if they're in a green where they actually are in a surplus, where they're profitable, or if they're in a negative. It's good for investors to know, which is more than fair. That's the cool thing about a public company. Like HireCar, it's public. It was private at the time, and they went through IPO and actually became public. And this is a company I have very strong conviction. I do believe in HireCar. Phenomenal company. A bit different than Turo. They might seem similar, but they're actually different. HireCar at this time is more for, which is really cool, they're more on the independent contractor side, where they offer vehicles, and I actually rent vehicles on HireCar, and I rent vehicles on Turo. And remember, if you do that, don't circumvent your contract. Turo specifically states and stipulates that do not use the same vehicle on both platforms or any other platform. If you have a Turo car on, if you have a car on the Turo platform, it can only be on the Turo platform. So keep the cars completely separate. So the vehicles that I have on HireCar I don't have them on Turo. They're completely separate. That's the difference, people. So you have to keep it at that point where it's separate. So that's the whole point. So that's how you gather strong and develop more strong conviction. Let me actually show you a little bit more of information. I like to look at our good friend Wikipedia, and for those, I do believe we should probably invest in Wikipedia. If you use it, I use it, so I try to invest and donate. They're a great source, and they really share a lot of information. Like, bless those people there at Wikipedia. They typically, sometimes you might see donation tabs, and like I said, I'm not telling you to donate. I'm not telling you not to donate. I'm just saying, me as a person, since I use Wikipedia and online services, these are great services that you can learn and educate yourself. You don't have to go to school. You could just go here, learn it quite a bit. So I really believe in the company. But anyways, just want to give Wikipedia shout outs. I don't really hear a lot of people shouting out Wikipedia. They're phenomenal. But anyways, they have this listing of Turo is an American peer-to-peer car sharing company. So you have it here. It used to be called Relay Rides, which is pretty cool. From 2010 to 2015, Andra Haddad became CEO in 2011. And Turo rebranded itself from Relay Rides to Turo. And even listen to how that sounds, Turo. But another reason why I really love the company and why I'm thinking I really want to invest in the company is because the CEO, I like looking at the leaders and the team and who they're dealing with and who the company's ran by. And when I read their bios, I'm just really impressed by their education level, where they actually went to school at, their experience. And it's not to be classist or biased or anything. I'm just saying I want to know that their experience. Same with my analogy of if a house is burning down and the firefighter's coming to save me, and he says, well, it's okay, breathe, here's a mask, oxygen mask, you'll be okay. I want to go with that firefighter. I don't want to go with the firefighter who is his first day. Doesn't mean he won't be great. Maybe he will be. But I want to go his first day where he's freaking out and scared and he's panicking and I'm panicking. You know what I mean? So that's how I look at a CEO and a team. I want to see their experience levels. I want to see their licenses. I want to see. And Andre Haddad's been great. He's actually been the chief operating officer at other companies. He has experience and he's just a visionary. Why he's so well spoken and why I hear him elaborate on Yahoo Finance when he was interviewed, he really just captured me, and I just really believed in what he was saying. And that's something I try to do research on, even down to on a granular level of looking at the CEOs, the COOs, the CFOs, which is chief financial officers, and I try to look at that because remember, if the company's not public, you have to reverse engineer and do as much research as possible. And what I have to do is, since the information is not public, I have to try to find information that they furnish online, and I have to try to go through the city, figure it out. And so it's a lot of more work you have to do, but it's well worth it if the company ends up going IPO. But again, they might not go through the IPO process. They might not actually execute that, but if they do, they might, and I really would love that. It's just one of those situations where I'm just sitting and waiting. I just want to do my part of saving money. I made a pledge to actually save 10% of any income I earn from Turo and other money I earn just in general, but especially from Turo, and I'm going to invest that into whenever they become IPO. Whenever they become a stock, if they plan to do it, it could be 1 day, it could be 2 days, it could be 1 year, 5 years, 100 years, could be never. They might decide never to do it. But if they do, I just want to do my due diligence. So I stay up late at night just trying to find information. So Wikipedia is some source I've used. Let me show you something else though. Meet the team. So look at this, people. Turo, this is directly from Turo. And why I love this, when I see a company that actually is proud to show their faces and show that their conviction in the company and that what they're proud of and showing their leadership. I love this stuff. Look at Andre Haddad. It's beautiful people here, man. And it's great. It's great. I love it. I love seeing this. I love seeing the smiles. I love seeing it, but I like reading it. But I don't get caught up in that. I like looking at more of the numbers, seeing if they could raise money, which Turo has been phenomenal at raising money. They're a great company. A lot of companies do believe in them. They have strong conviction. They believe in the product. They have a close-knit team of visionaries, and it's just great. And when I hear Andre Haddad talk, I love the plan and the execution that they're taking every year at a time. They've significantly grown from relay rides now to Turo, the platform. And the cool thing, what also makes me really believe in the company, is not just the team. The team's great, but it's the visionaries and not just and the execution of their ideas. Like even now, think of it this way. What really captures me as well is that when you compare this company, Relay Rides, and now who's currently Turo, it was founded in Andre Haddad became the CEO in 2011, and it was actually founded by Shelby Clark. But the cool thing is that they actually are the lot, meaning that, think of it this way. You know how Avis, Enterprise, Hertz, they have like only so many cars you can book. They only have so many lots. They're limited based on their square footage, based on the cars they have, and you have a limited selection. Turo's different. The world is the lot. The world, people, is the lot. The world is the lot, people. And that's what's phenomenal here, is that the world's the lot. So, to me, that's just so much potential, and it kind of goes back in that blue ocean strategy. And I know as time goes on, there will be other competitors that will compete in the same formality. But the thing is, at this point, they're definitely they're the head. They're ahead, and they are the head. They're ahead of everyone, and they are the head. So it's just one of those things. It's just strong conviction, and that's why I really believe in the company, because they really stand alone in that. Because the world is the marketplace for them. It is the lot. They're constantly opening up. They're all over U.S., Canada, all over the world. It's just they're really getting into really the world is their lot. They have way more selection. You can get a Lamborghini, you can get a Ferrari, you get the Nissan, you can get a Toyota if you want. You get any type of car you typically want, and you're not limited because you have the world is basically your oyster. The world is your lot. That's just, I just lose my mind when I think about that. So something else I like to do as well is I'll look at news articles. So I look at Forbes, where they went in detail. So right here, I'm not going to read this whole article for you guys, but see right here. To fancy yourself a market leader, Haddad's startup had to change its market from the competition of big car rental companies such as Avis, Unit, Zipcar, which report annual revenue of about 280 million in 2012 before its acquisition to the challenge posed by Uber and Lyft. Turo has shed its last ties to ride-sharing and hourly car rentals. The opportunity seemingly once open enough to lend the company its name, Turo, and it became Turo. Even listen to how it sounds, Turo. I love that name. I mean, Relay Rise is great too, but Turo is just, I love that. So I mean, I just like reading articles. So went through this a few times. Yeah. So I mean, it just, I try to look at the leadership, try to look at the trajectory of the company. And again, I'm no sophisticated investor or anything. I'm just really sharing my journey, and that's about it pretty much. So this is not financial advice. I'm not telling you to invest in Turo. I'm not telling you to not invest in Turo. I'm not telling you to invest in any company. I'm not telling you to spend any money or invest any money, nothing like that. I'm just simply sharing Conrad Layn's journey, IPO journey to Turo. That's all I'm doing. Now, also what I wanted to show you, something else I do, typically in the United States and California, which is my state, when a company does business in your state, they usually have to file as a corporation or LLC. So what I like to do is I like to make sure that the company's active and they have the proper licenses. So I really go on a granular level. So I've met people that work at hedge funds. I've met sophisticated investors, and I've met retail investors and people that aren't as sophisticated. And sometimes they don't do as much research that I think they should do. But again, I'm not perfect. That's just my style. I like to really dive deep and a bit unorthodox, but I like to actually look at information like this. So you want to make sure you select the right company. So I'll go to the Secretary of State, and then I'll actually look at here, select the right company, 1123, registration date. So that means they registered in 2010, which was Relay Rise, and changed their name to Turo. They're active, and I'll click on them, and voila. That's it, people. All active, all here. So I like to do that just to feel comfortable that the companies follow at least the state guidelines, because if I'm going to invest in a company, I want to make sure they're following the state guidelines at least. So that's something I like to do. And the cool thing about Secretary of State, they have to file this called the Statement of Information. That's what SI stands for. It's a legal requirement, typically in the state of California, and a lot of other states follow the same legal requirement. But if you're an LLC or a corporation in the state of California, you have to file a Statement of Information, which they filed it and they completed it and they've done it and they keep doing it. So they're following the laws of the land, which makes you feel more comfortable. So if they do go through the IPO process, initial public offering, I feel more comfortable investing in them. Then what I like to do is, I'm just going to show you guys this. This article from LegalZoom, just go over what a statement of information includes. The information that must be provided in a statement of information will vary depending on the regulations of the state, which is California, that requires it. Typically, a statement of information will need to provide information about the business registered agent and its management or officers, as well as the business place of business and mailing address. Now, when a company's public, you get this type of information or similar type of information of like the CEOs, who's the main players. You get that information when you actually are when the company becomes public. You can pull that information fairly easily because it's the requirement. When a company's private, you don't have access to that information. So what I have to do, I have to reverse engineers and try to go through the state to get this information and figure out. Then I'll go through the team, see who's running it, making sure the names match. And I just do my own due diligence, because if I'm going to invest in a company, I want to date the company. I want to get to know the company. I want to be embedded in the company. I want to understand the culture. I want to become the company. And that's how I develop more conviction, so that if I invest in a company, I don't just sell my stock as soon as it's volatile and it drops in price. So I do that. So I just want to share that with you. And next and last but not least, I like to look at the competition typically. Typically, this company, HireCar, I also am a Turo host and HireCar host, and the cars are completely separate because I understand I don't want to circumvent either contract. So the vehicles are completely separate. And I think both business plans are great. And from what I do understand, but this is what I would consider, I guess, the competition, but not really in my personal opinion, because it's a completely different demographic and market. HireCar is more about renting the car, sharing your car with the independent contractor who's an Amazon Flex worker, a DoorDash worker, DoorDash driver, Amazon Flex driver, Postmates driver, Grubhub driver, caviar driver, Shipped driver, someone that just delivers food, Uber, Lyft. That's who they cater to. That's not really Turo's demographic so far. You have to even get like a Lyft inspection with the vehicle, which Turo doesn't ask for a Lyft inspection. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's just a different market, but this is who I'll say is close to them. So I like looking at companies like this, and I look at their team too. See, their team: the CEO, the COO. Chief Executive Officer, CEO, COO is Chief Operating Officer, CFO is Chief Financial Officer, the President, CTO. See all these people here? So it's great. So I mean, it just shows who they are, and I like looking at that. I even like going into investor relations. And that's pretty much what I like doing. So I mean, I like going a deep dive, and that's the thing. And oh, sorry about the people. I turned my internet off because I kept getting calls and texts while I was recording, and I wanted to actually keep this as I'm legitimately using my phone. I want to use my phone to actually share this with you. So I'm a regular dude, and really is my journey. I use my phone to do research, and I wanted to keep it authentic. So that's about it, people. That's what I do to typically find information. And again, this is not financial advice. I'm not telling you to invest in any company. I'm not telling you to invest in HireCar. I'm not telling you not to invest in HireCar. I'm not telling you to invest in Turo. I'm not telling you not to invest in Turo. I'm not telling you to invest in anything, and I'm not telling you not to invest in anything. What I am saying is that this is Conrad Layn's Turo IPO journey, and I'm sharing my journey with you. And this is what I do. I look at this stuff. I'm such a nerd, and I love reading and figuring this stuff out. And I love the company. I love being a host. Turo is such a great opportunity for me, and it's really phenomenal. I want to grow my fleet, and I just love the culture, love the close-knit team, love everyone behind the team. That's really positive trajectory, and that's about it, people. And I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not your advisor. I'm not your business consultant. I'm not your agent. Not selling you anything. I'm just a friendly YouTube neighbor that's sharing my Conrad Layn Turo IPO journey, because I want to invest in Turo the company, and I only spend time on companies that I believe have a chance and that I have strong conviction in, which Turo is one of them. Because I would not use my time. I could be using my time doing something else than staying up 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. in the morning looking at articles. Trust me, I have better things to do. But when I believe in a company, that's the hugest compliment I could give a company, is to scrutinize them. And Turo, I love the company. They're great. And I'm a huge fanboy, but I don't want to just love them emotionally. I also want to love them logically. And again, I'm no specialist. I'm not a sophisticated investor. I'm just a simple guy that wants to actually do my best to invest. You guys have a good day. Thank you for hanging out with me. Conrad Layn out.